This is now the third Owl House episode to premiere while I'm on vacation, and I thought that I would be doing maybe like a little quick post-episode reaction video while I was at the hotel, and then later come back and do the full episode review. But as you probably know, the episode got leaked, and I watched it. The way I see it, choosing to watch the leak is fine. Preemptively spoiling it for others is not okay, and I didn't do that. I preferred watching it early and getting it over with than being spoiled beforehand. Also, someone needs to give iTunes a beating. I mean, True Colors leaking was bad, but at least there was an excuse, and it wasn't entirely their fault. This time, there was no excuse. So yeah, for the future, Season 3's message is indeed, thanks for watching, which is a little clever. Spoilers, naturally. If you have not watched For the Future yet, do not watch this video. Watch the episode first, and then come back. And as with my other Owl House reviews, I will be joined by my special friend, King. Let's go. Episode starts off with King's perspective of the Season 2 ending. The Collector is kind of going crazy, and King is like, hey, if we're gonna play our game, you need to calm down. Stop shooting magic at people. Lilith and Hootie arrive and tell the Collector to back off. The Collector transforms them into toys and makes them disappear, just very quickly. Lilith didn't have to lose her arm apparently, which I thought might happen, but you know, at that point she only had the curse for a month, maybe two, compared to Ida, who had it for 30 years, so I guess Lilith isn't as badly affected. The Collector releases a huge wave of magic across the aisles. Ida goes into Harpy mode and flies up to try to save King. The Owl Beast seems to be scared of the Collector and starts manifesting, and the Collector is like, wanna play? And then the title appears, and Albert is colored like the Collector. And just watching this Collector magic, it's pretty clear why Dana used sparkles to describe this episode. There are a lot of sparkles. Luz wakes up in the in-between room. She sees some weird thing, but gets pulled out of the portal quickly by Amity. They're walking through the forest. Willow's admiring the grass. Hunter misses Flapjack. Amity finds some abomination fluid. Everything seems normal so far. Then suddenly they see the stuff that's not normal. There are falling stars everywhere. The Titan's skull is cracked. There's a weird castle thing over it. Camilla says that the Boiling Isles is such an amazing place, and she starts to understand why Luz likes it. Luz blatantly says she hasn't changed her mind about staying in the human realm. She's still miserable. Meanwhile, Bill slumps around the forest, more unstable than usual. He sees a vision of Caleb and the knife he used to kill him. Bellis yells at Caleb and decides he needs a new body. He doesn't have the strength to be a pasty white dude anymore. The group reaches the Owl House, and it's still empty and abandoned. Camilla finds some rat corpse, which I thought was the Echo Mouse at first. I mean, the Echo Mouse probably did die because no one was feeding it, but that's beside the point. Camilla confesses to Willow and Gus that she doesn't know how to stop Luz from being so miserable. Gus and Willow relate a story from their childhoods about how it's not right to punish yourself. Meanwhile, Hunter is pacing outside complaining that Bellis is out there and they're just sitting around doing nothing. Willow pretends she's fine, but it's very, very obvious she's not, and is pretending to keep things together. Luz is laying in Ida's nest hoping her talisman will hatch. She's trying to figure out what will cause it to awaken. Hunter notices Ida and King on one of those shooting stars. Everyone follows them and they land in Bonesboro, which is also abandoned. A wave of magic goes by and a bunch of transformed citizens appear. Kat and Amelia are there, one of Willow's dads is there. The Owl Beast is chasing them around, but the Collector swoops in and saves the day because it was part of the game. The Owl Beast was actually Terra dressed as Ida. She complains about the Collector's games and gets transformed into a toy too because lesson number 1 of dealing with the Collector, do not backtalk him. There's a very big Twilight Zone, It's a Good Life vibe here where everyone is just, yay, Collector, we're gonna have so much fun with your game, don't hurt me, please. Actually, that's not really accurate because people are like puppets right now. Whether or not they're still conscious in there is the question, and I mean, if they are, holy that's horrifying because it's been months. King has been stuck with the Collector all this time. He's wearing something similar to what the Titan Trappers dressed him in. King tries to get him to stop, but they just think it's pretend, it's just a game. Scar, Matt, and Barkus arrive. Hunter's looking at Scar's red and black talisman, missing his own. Sadness. Anyway, a flashback shows that the Hexside students and teachers were camped out in school during the Day of Unity. Eventually, the adults and a couple of kids were transformed into puppets, and the rest of the kids have been hiding inside ever since. And they kind of made their own little society in there. Amity reunites with Ed and M. Ed's in a full body cast because he fell down a well. Bells crawls through the Hunter graveyard and is haunted again by Caleb, plus the other Golden Guards this time. And, he needs a new body. He's just like, I don't have the resources to, make a Grimoire, so screw it, I'm just gonna possess Caleb's corpse. The Collector and King soar the sky on a star up to the Archives. That's what that weird castle is called. Dahlia is there and she's willingly serving the Collector. Her delusions of grandeur will meet no end, but at the very least, the collector doesn't seem to care for her that much. It's just like, go put these puppets away. King reads a book which states that collectors sit above us all and aren't meant to meddle in our affairs, which does confirm the existence of multiple collectors, which I've thought about before, because this collector doesn't seem to be the same being as the collector we've been following these past several episodes. Basha is in charge of the Hexide base apparently, which I guess isn't an extreme shock. She's a pretty ineffective leader though, which is definitely not a shock. She has an assistant named Mickey who's throwing away all the good ideas, who's very clearly Kikimora in disguise. You know, Basha's pretty upset that Ket and Amelia got captured by the collector and she feels like she failed as a captain, but she doesn't let those feelings manifest very often. King finds the Hootie doll and grabs it. He goes to Ida, who's not a doll, but the Coven head she's with are. Ida has shorter hair, and she's pretending to still be in Owl Beast mode so that the collector won't puppetize her. Lilith was apparently freed at some point, and she's secretly brewing the elixir to keep the curse at bay. Lilith also has shorter hair and reverted to her natural hair color, so I was right to predict that she would go back to having orange hair. It just happened later than expected. King brings the Hootie doll to them, and he can still communicate, and Lilith is like, oh no, Hootzifer, what have they done to you? But yeah, I thought King was gonna be alone with the collector this whole time, but no, he's with his mama and his auntie, so... I mean, he still misses Luz, but at least he's not completely alone. Ida and Lilith are also like, well, at least Luz and her friends are far away from all this. Yeah, you'd think that. Bellis tries possessing Caleb's corpse, which lasts for about 5 seconds, and then it just collapses again. He's like, ugh. So then he crawls his way up to the archives, very rightly tosses Adalia aside like the trash she is, and instead possesses Rain's puppet body. That was unexpected. Of all the things in this episode I was not expecting, that was the least expected. Matt takes the Hex Squad to the photo classroom because they need to find the teleportation glyph combo, and Luz saw it, but she doesn't actually remember it, so they need to extract it from her memories. Willow finds a picture of Hunter and Flapjack and gives it to him to try to cheer him up, but it doesn't really work, and she gets all upset and runs away. Gus admits he knew the truth about Hunter ever since the Day of Unity and says he should have said something earlier, but he was scared. Willow finds Basha and gets captured by her and Kiki. Basha puts everyone else to sleep with sleeping nettles. Okay, so Bellos Rain approaches the collector and tells them they're in danger, but we quickly go back to Hexide. Kiki drops everyone into the detention pit and prepares to finish them off. Basha doesn't seem 100% happy with what's going on and just walks away. Camilla uses a glyph for the first time and later throws her bat, expertly hitting Kiki with it. Meanwhile, Basha gets down on her knees and begs Amity to be her friend again. She misses the old ways so much. This I was very much not expecting. I'd say second to the Rain thing. Amity bluntly says she won't be that person anymore, but Basha can still help rescue her teammates. Hunter has a small breakdown wishing Flapjack was still there, but is quickly interrupted by a bunch of vines. Willow's down there, her eyes are all glowy, she's not really in control of her magic, she's so desperate for everything to be okay that she captures Gus and Hunter. Back to the Collector, they don't believe they're in danger. Bill says that, no, one of your friends will betray you. And Collector's like, what, you mean King? Nah, me and King are best buds. So the Collector checks on King and sees that Lilith figured out Titan magic can cancel out Collector power, so that's why previous Collectors hunted them down. Proof that the Collector that the Titan trappers worship is not our Collector. King says that trapping the Collector again won't work because someone can just free them. But he has an idea to permanently defeat them and it'll involve talking to them. King knows that deep down the Collector is just sad and he can relate. Don't be sad, King. Bellows also tells the Collector that Luz accompanied her back, and that makes the Collector mad because he really doesn't like Luz because Luz tried to take King away from him. Luz and Camilla make it back out to the forest. Luz is mad that she messed up again. Camilla tells her that messing up is a part of life and mentions she messed up a lot in the past. Apparently she was scammed into a pyramid scheme once. But her biggest mistake was not standing up for Luz when she needed her most. She didn't appreciate how special Luz was and tried to change her into something she isn't. Luz is so happy to hear this. She realizes that the thing she wanted most of all was to be understood. And she finally has it. And that's what makes her talisman hatch. And at first it is simply the orb. But eventually it'll become a proper talisman. Meanwhile, Willow breaks down about how she can't protect her friend, she can't be strong, she'll always be half a witch. Hunter hears this and is just not having it. He does that dash move of his to free himself and wrap Willow in a hug, telling her she didn't mess up, she means so much to him, and she's always doing the right thing, and how it's okay to cry and let it all out sometimes, and that calms Willow down. Hunter gets her and Gus out of the tunnels, and Gus and Willow are like, dude, you have magic, it's Flapjack. So is Hunter a witch now? Is he something more? Is he made of magic? Either way, good to know that the Hunter has magic theory turned out to be right. They see that Luz has a staff now and are frankly scared of the possibilities. They start to fight Kiki, who apparently just wants her own empire now. Luz sees Hunter doing magic and is just like, how much did I miss? Amity and Basha and the rest of Hexside show up to fight Kiki. Actual Basha redemption, whoa. Well, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see if it's like a proper redemption, but he seems to be doing the right thing, at least. Amity separates from them and joins the Hex Squad as they draw the teleportation glyph. They escape just in time and teleport to the ruins of the skull. And this is when we see Luz's talisman properly. Everyone predicting it was a snake? Well, it's not just a snake, it's a snake shifter named Stringbean, and she's adorable. Easily going into my collection of adorable cartoon creatures. And Luz is happy again. Finally!
When she's happy, we're happy.
I didn't realize just how much I missed Happy Luz until I saw her again, and I'm just like, oh, this is exactly what my heart needed. Someone pointed out a while ago that the very first thing we saw in the show was Azura fighting Gildersnake, and Gildersnake kinda looks like Stringbean. Kinda. Willow and Hunter had another shippy moment. Bellows and the Collector are looking down at them, and Bellows is like, I told you. The Collector says they're ready to play a new game. And roll credits. I love how Bellows just walked right up to the Collector and can effortlessly manipulate them again. Just, here we go. The end credits have a photo montage just like last time. My favorite is the one about Lilith's haircut. We definitely ended in the middle of things, and that's what this was, the middle part of a 3-part trilogy. Thanks to them, established things for the future, had the rising action, and the finale will bring everything to a close. And I am not ready for that finale. Oh god. We still haven't seen Luz reuniting with Ida and King. Let them be together. Let Ida nervously introduce herself to Camilla, and Camilla hugs her and thanks her for looking after Luz. Let Lilith apologize to Hunter for thinking of him as nothing more than a spoiled brat. Let Gus fret over King continuing what he was doing in King's Tide. They didn't really explain what was going on with Luz in the in-between. I guess that'll be covered in the next episode. It's probably related to the implication that the Titan is guiding Luz. I mean, the Titan's skull is cracked open. Whatever Luz saw was in pain. There was that mysterious, barely audible voice in yesterday's lie. It all kind of fits. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think it would be funny if Odalia doesn't appear again until after the Collector and Bellows are defeated and literally no one cares about her. Amity will just grab her with an abomination and just toss her aside like that. Yeah, there won't be any live reaction highlights this time, sorry. Maybe for the finale. Once again, it depends on when it airs. If that gets leaked, all bets are off. An entire war might start. I don't know exactly what my next video will be, but until next time, thanks for watching.